What's good, everybody? It's Jonah. Come back at you on another video. So this video, I want to share an important piece of advice for you to help you begin creating the life that you want to create. And that piece of advice is with this: to silence the noise. Now, when I say silence the noise, I'm referring to basically stepping away from it all. If you have electronic devices, even for some time, right, turn those off, right? Because we live in the digital age where everything is globalized and everything is connected, right? Most people can easily access computers or electronic devices, right? Most people have a cell phone, which they have with them 24/7, and they rarely ever turn it off, right? Because of this, oftentimes people feel as though they need to be connected because they need to be in the know, that they need to know everything that's going on, everything that's happening in the world. And I'm here to tell you that that's not helping you. That's not necessarily helping you. If anything, it's pulling you away and it's holding you back. And the reason why it's holding you back is because your attention ends up going everywhere else that it needs to go besides you, besides yourself. And it's easy for you to get so caught up with everything and for you to forget yourself, because usually when you're looking around at everything else, right? Because your perspective is from you towards the environment, towards everything, that oftentimes it's easy to forget yourself, because a lot of times, the times when you are able to see yourself or look at yourself is usually in a mirror, right? And then in those cases, you become more conscious about yourself. But in most cases, you're not looking at yourself, you're looking at other things. And so typically that's where most people's attention go. And if your attention is going to all these different places except yourself, then it's easy for you yourself to be forgotten about. It's easy for yourself to get the short end of the stick, when in reality, you should always be actively looking to prioritize yourself. When I'm telling you silence your noise, I'm referring to you being able to step away from all these electronic devices, right? It is okay for you to turn off your computer, to turn off your phone, and to just sit in your room, or to just, find a quiet place and meditate, or to find that quiet place, sit there and think, and just reflect on your own life. Reflect on how things have been going and think about the direction that you want to go, right? See, in this digital age where, we pretty much experience information overload and distractions 24/7, with people being distracted all the time, it's never been easier than ever to get off track, right? And most people, when they are idle, right, when they have idle time, they're conditioned to think that something is wrong, because they're always accustomed to something distracting, right? If they're just sitting there with nothing to do, they're impulsively just grab their phone and then go on social media and start scrolling, right? It becomes challenging for people to focus. It becomes challenging for people. Like, a lot of people don't have a direction as far as where they want to take their life, because they're constantly distracted, because they haven't put any time to even think about where they want to go. And this is the idea for this video, for you to consider and to begin silencing the noise. See, there's a lot of people out there who they live their life based on the beliefs that other people implemented in them. What I mean is that there could have been people who were raised by their parents, and so because their parents had this faulty belief of believing that they themselves weren't good enough and they themselves weren't capable, they instilled those same beliefs into their child. And so let's just say you were that child, right? Now you could be living your whole life with that belief that was instilled, that faulty belief that was instilled to you of not being good enough by your parents, because your parents weren't good enough. And so they pretty much sprinkled that onto you, and you've been living your whole life with that adopted belief, rather than sitting back and reflecting and choosing the beliefs that you want to have. Now, I know it sounds for some people, it might sound kind of strange to say choosing a belief, but that's what it all is, because beliefs are just thoughts that you think over and over and over. So you can't change a belief by starting off and changing a thought and then adopting a new thought, right? And thinking about that thought over and over and over until that, with repetition, right? Then that is what instills a new belief in you. And the reason why this is so important is because in life, you are always going to be proven right. Because life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The law of attraction, the universe, they will prove you right with what you believe, right? Because it's not the facts of your life that creates the belief. It's the beliefs that you have that creates the facts of your life. So the facts of your life and how you're living, they're directly proportionate. Essentially, they were created because of the beliefs that you held about yourself and about the world around you, et cetera, et cetera. So the $1 million question about your life is always going to be that belief that you hold. Is that belief what you want to be proven right about? Is that what you want to have be your truth? And for a lot of people, for most of their beliefs, the answer is going to be no, right? And so this is why it's important for you to step back and silence the noise and put yourself in a position where it's all calm and it's quiet, that you can actually think about your life and what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you're going to go after? Because at the end of the day, if you're going after goals and dreams and you have these big aspirations, it is most likely going to take some time. It's most likely going to require some effort. It's most likely going to require willpower, dedication, discipline, all these things, right? It can be hard for you to get there, right? So understanding that, why not go after a goal or a dream that's actually worthwhile? Something that you know that is going to require effort and may take a lot of time. If that's the case, have it be something worthwhile. Have it be something that's truly going to make you happy, something that you want to be part of your life. That can only happen when you decide to step away and turn off all the distractions. See, I've heard people say, like, when I've told other people that I don't pay attention to the news, right? I don't read up on the news on like computer. I don't, watch the news. If I find out about things going on, it's usually through other people telling me things, right? I've told people that before, that I don't pay attention to the news. And their response is, well, then how are you going to be informed about what's going on in the world? And usually my retort to that is, well, if being informed about everything that's going on in the world is at the expense of you being informed about your world, then is that really worth it, right? Because a lot of people want to be informed about the world, and most of the stories that are on social media or online are all negative things or bad things about the world. Then people typically will have a pessimistic view of the world, and then they'll feel scared. They'll feel anxious about the future. They'll feel worried, and they're focusing on everything except themselves. When I'm saying silence the noise, is so that you can put everything else away, so that you can focus on you, because you are always going to be most important. You are always going to be the greatest investment that you can make, because you have a finite amount of time here on earth, and your goal when you were put here, when you were born, is to experience outrageous joy, is for you to be happy moment to moment. And a lot of times people are not looking for that happiness, or people are not searching for that, or because they're so distracted, their mind is everywhere. You need to understand, like, with your life, if I equate this to a race, right? Say you're going to a track field and you're going to run a race. You running the race is you against you. It's you against that big clock or that timer, right? So that as soon as, the shot gets fired to, like, everybody run, right, that you start running around, and then the time that you finish is your time, right? So if you were to try to race again, that is who you're competing against, because if you're able to finish the race at a faster time, then that means you're getting better. That means you're improving. That is the only race to be had. The problem with most folks is that because they have social media, because they're always on the internet, because they're always looking around, they're, in a lot of cases, subconsciously comparing themselves with other people. And so because of that, they don't end up racing a race against themselves. They end up racing like running a race against dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions of people, billions of people on the planet. So then in that case, of course, you're either never going to win the race, or you're just always going to be looking everywhere. Like, you're not going to be tracking your own progress. Because what you need to remember is that given that we are living in a world with 8 billion other people, there's always going to be someone taller than you. There's always going to be someone, with a better body, like a more physically fit body. There's always going to be someone more attractive. There's always going to be someone with more money. There's always going to be someone with greater status than you. There's always going to be someone with nicer clothes than you. There's always going to be someone that is probably going to be a tad bit better or significantly better in other areas than you. That shouldn't take away from your journey and your experience, because your journey, your experience is for you to live, right? It's not for other people to live, right? So don't fall into that trap. Focus on yourself and worry about yourself. And the only way you're going to do that is by silencing the noise. It's by stepping away from all the electronics and literally getting in a quiet space and begin thinking about yourself, thinking about where you want to go, the direction you want to take it, and then begin, formulating a plan or essentially making up a game plan for how to get there, right? And if you've had a negative view, a pessimistic view on the world, silencing the noise will help you realize that everything is in fact okay. That somehow, some way, everything in life works itself out and things will be fine and things will be okay. So many people have a very pessimistic view of the world and they're so scared about, everything that's happening. Meanwhile, if you just are in a quiet space, you'll realize that everything is fine. Or if you step outside, you'll see that people are walking their dogs with smiles on their face, right? So some people, it's like information overload. It's like they don't know what to do because so much information is flying at them, so many distractions, right? It's easy to be distracted in today's world because everything is so easily accessible, and we as humans, we're curious creatures. We like seeing things, we like pushing buttons, we like all these things, right? But when you want to get far in life at anything, it requires putting away the distractions, right? Think of anyone who's ever built something great or have like grand accomplishments, whether it's like financial success or like building these major inventions or whatever, right? Like let's think of like someone who invented, an airplane, right? I would like to think that the man or the people that invented an airplane, that they put a lot of thought into inventing an airplane, right? It wasn't that they worked on the airplane for 5 minutes and then, went on Instagram, right? Like, I mean, obviously Instagram didn't exist back then, but you get the idea, right? It's not like they worked on it for 5 minutes and then decided to get sidetracked and then they just went on social media and just was hanging out, was relaxing on the couch, kicking their feet up and just, scrolling through people's posts, right? Like for someone to invent something like that and create something, it required a lot of thought, a lot of thinking, a lot of trial and error. It required putting significant amount of time into this to make sure it ended up working, right? People and success in all areas is pretty much just dedication and discipline, right? The best example we can get is just going to the gym, right? Like if you want to work on your body, of course you want to eat healthy, but you also want to show up to the gym and follow your workout regimen, because if it's a good regimen, right, and you're eating healthy, then as long as you keep showing up, all the other pieces are going to fall into place, right? But it requires focus, and it becomes challenging when you're not focused, right? There's so many people who use their phone and they spend hours a day on social media, and then they'll say that they don't have time to do anything. It's not that you don't have time to do anything, is that you just you don't make time for it. Like any free time that you have, you need to have it be occupied by something, which prevents you from spending time doing the things that you actually want to do, right? Like I say all this because I want you, if you haven't been feeling this way, I want you to take time for yourself to really think about the direction of where you want to go and tackle that and to start moving in that direction. And you can do that by putting down all the distractions, because it's too easy in this day and age to get distracted. And so The trade-off though is that because most people are distracted, then the few people who choose not to be distracted and choose to accept their power as a creator, these are the people that end up getting far because they're so few and far between, right? Because the bulk of the population are distracted. They don't know the direction that they want to go with their life. They don't know anything about themselves, right? Because they haven't been paying attention to themselves. They haven't been thinking. They haven't, right? So the people who do have a sense of direction and do work towards that each and every day, these are the people that make something out of themselves, that end up becoming great and end up becoming the superstar of the society. And these are the people that end up winning in life, because we as a society, we always want and support the superstars in every industry, right? So this is how it all works. I want to see you win. I want to see you bring out the best version of yourself. I don't want, the last thing I want is for society. Like, of course, there are certain superstars that, you know, we glorify, like the really all-time great musicians or the really great, you know, athletes and all these things. And it makes sense because it's hard to ever get to those levels. And, you know, but I don't necessarily want it to have to be outliers, right? Like, I want that to be the norm for people in whatever industry they decide to pursue. It's just that most people choose to be distracted, and so they don't ever build the life that they want. They don't ever find the true joy and happiness in themselves. They end up living their life based on the beliefs that other people has instilled in them, rather than them choosing what they want to believe so that they can be proven right about that given belief, right? You believe that you're not good enough, then guess what? You are going to be proven right, because any opportunity you have to start something new, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to start it because you believe that you're not good enough. So you have your mind made up that it's not possible for you to win. So that right there is a simple example for why your belief creates the fact. Because your belief of not being good enough created the fact that you're not good enough, because you decided not to start. You decided not to do anything. You decided not to try. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you believe that you're not good enough, is that the belief that you want to be proven as true or as correct, right? Probably not. So it's time for you to instill new beliefs. It's time for you to reflect on your own life and decide what is that you want to get out of it. It's time for you to put your head down and essentially begin working. And it's supposed to be fun, because that journey from where you are to where you want to go is what's going to be the most exciting part, because it's going to require you to grow and bring out a version of yourself that you've probably never tapped into, or probably never had, that you probably didn't know you had, which was there the entire time. And that journey is going to be so much fun. That growth is going to be so enjoyable. And the person that you grow into is what you're going to be most proud of. So always remember to silence the noise, take away all the distractions, put things away if you need to, and really spend time focusing on the direction that you want to go and begin building towards that, so that you can ultimately live a life that's worth living. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe as we're on the road to 1 million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.